Chinese regulators warned 34 other tech giants just days after Alibaba was slapped with a record of $2.8 billion fine for acting like a monopoly. The State Administration for Market Regulation, SAMR, said that executives from 34 tech companies, including Baidu, Tencent and ByteDance, the owner of TikTok, were summoned for the meeting with SAMR, the Cyberspace Administration and the State Taxation Administration. Other companies who attended the meeting were JD.com, Pinduoduo, food delivery app Meituan, ride-hailing giant Didi, gaming company NetEase, streaming platform iQ and short-form video app Kuaishou. The meeting was aimed at eradicating monopoly practices with internet giant companies and heed the warning of Alibaba's case. The SAMR statement said that the 34 firms have to undergo complete rectification within a month after conducting internal checks and inspections and to correct any practices which harms competition. The statement said unfair competition hinders innovation and development and harms the interests of operators and consumers. It added internet platform companies must be in awe of and respect the rules. Regulatory lines can't be crossed and red lines of laws can't be touched, it continued. Officials will continue to track company behaviour and any found guilty of breaching the rules will be subject to heavy punishments, the SAMR statement read. The behaviours like forcing merchants to pick one platform, abusing dominant market position, making hostile bids to acquire top players in specific market segments, misusing big data to charge unfair pricing to certain clients, turning a blind eye to inferior quality products, leaking customer data as well as evading tax payments would be considered as breaching the rules and will be subject to heavy punishments, said the SAMR. A-Data, the Washington-based Center for Global Development, CGD, Germany's Kiel Institute and the Peterson Institute for International Economics researchers conducted a first-of-its-kind report and in-depth analysis comparing Chinese Communist Party money lenders with other major contracts lenders. 100 contracts between Chinese banks and 24 developing countries, counting 11 from Africa, worth $36.6 billion, were examined, making China the world's largest official creditor, accounting for 65% of official bilateral debt, covering Africa, Eastern Europe and Latin America. The report revealed constructed contracts by Chinese lenders with payment agreements that put Chinese state-owned banks as the preferred lenders, thus gaining an advantage over other creditors in developing countries. Contracts include unusual confidentiality clauses that restrict borrowers from revealing the terms of the loans or even the debt's existence. Collateral arrangements such as controlled accounts contracts guarantee to keep the debt out of corporate restructuring. Clauses known as the No Paris clauses allow China substantial freedom to cancel loans or accelerate repayment. Co-author of the report, Scott Morris at CGD, said the findings question China's role as one of the G20 group and the agreement of a common framework plan to help impoverished nations deal with the financial impact of COVID-19. Is Beijing deliberately pursuing debt trap diplomacy? Reports have stated that several low and middle income countries are battling mounting debt burdens and complicated loan payment renegotiations amid the pandemic. Yet the party still maintains its financial institutions, including its banks, are committed to helping African nations. Morris pointed out that the basis of treatment for all creditors and money lenders are supposed to call for equality, but most of the examined contracts from the Communist Party's lenders restrict countries from reconstructing loans in coordination with other creditors. Morris told Reuters that's a very striking prohibition, and it seems to run counter to the commitments the Chinese are making at the G20. China said that it extended $2 billion to developing countries under the G20 program. The 77-page report included 23 loan contracts with Cameroon, 10 with Serbia and Argentina, and 8 with Ecuador. The report concluded that public debt should be public and that all countries should strive for more transparency. It would allow citizens to hold their governments accountable for debt contracts signed in their name, the report said. An official form reveals that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul Pelosi, purchased millions of dollars worth of Microsoft and Roblox stock last month. According to a public disclosure form filed on April 9 with the House Clerk, Paul Pelosi, owner of the California venture capital investment and consulting firm, bought 25,000 shares of Microsoft on March 19 through call options that allow investors the right to buy shares of a company at a strike price. Using the exercising option, he paid $1.95 million to buy 15,000 shares of $130 each, and that same day paid $1.4 million for 10,000 shares of $140 each. Microsoft share prices have climbed from about $230 to roughly $255 after Pelosi made the purchase. According to a CNBC report, the company acquired a lucrative government contract worth nearly $22 billion to supply US Army with 120,000 HoloLens augmented reality headsets. The deal was announced on March 31st. Microsoft announced on Monday that it is proposing to buy Nuance Communications, a software technology company on speech recognition using artificial intelligence, for $19.7 billion, including debt assumption in an all-cash purchase, according to Axios. Nancy Pelosi's Deputy Chief of Staff, Drew Hamill, told the Washington Examiner on Tuesday that the Speaker has no involvement or prior knowledge of these transactions. Paul Pelosi bought 10,000 Roblox shares on March 10, the day it went public. Roblox, which is a platform for user-generated games, is available on Xbox One, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, PC, Android, and iOS. The Roblox started trading through a direct listing on March 10. On Tuesday morning, shares of the company were trading at $79.88, an increase of about 23.8%.